When a woman asks a serious question in a private and intimate moment, it is usually not random. It may sound simple on the surface, but often it carries deeper emotions. Intimate moments create a different emotional environment. When two people are alone together, especially in a romantic setting, their emotional walls are lower. They feel more open and more vulnerable. Because of this, questions asked in those moments often come from a deeper place in the heart. She may not just be asking for information. She may be looking for reassurance, safety, and emotional connection. Many women use emotionally meaningful questions as a way to understand where they stand in a relationship. It is not always about testing in a negative way. It is more about understanding. She may want to know if you are serious about her. She may want to know if your feelings are real and stable. Sometimes she may ask something about the future, like where you see the relationship going. Other times it may be about your feelings, your commitment, or your intentions. The question itself might be short, but behind it, there can be many emotions such as hope, fear, love, and even insecurity. In private moments, people feel safer to reveal what truly matters to them. When she asks a deep question in such a setting, it often means she trusts you enough to show vulnerability. Vulnerability is not weakness, it is courage. It takes courage to ask something that might bring an answer you are afraid of. So when she asks, she may be hoping that your answer will give her peace. She may want confirmation that she is important to you and that she is not wasting her time or emotions. She may also be testing emotional security. Emotional security means feeling safe in a relationship. It means knowing that the other person is consistent, loyal, and clear about their feelings. If she feels unsure about your level of seriousness, she may ask questions that help her measure that. She might want to see if your words match your actions. For example, if you say you care about her, but your behavior does not show commitment, she may feel confused. So she asks a question to understand the truth behind your behavior. When she observes how quickly you respond, she is not just watching for speed. She is watching for confidence and clarity. A quick and calm answer can show that you have already thought about the relationship and that you are sure about your feelings. A delayed or hesitant response might make her wonder if you are unsure or hiding something. However, it is important to understand that thinking carefully before answering is not always a bad thing. Sometimes a thoughtful pause shows that you respect the seriousness of the question. She also pays attention to whether you avoid the topic. Avoiding the question can create doubt in her mind. If she feels that you change the subject, joke about it, or give a very vague answer, she may think that you are not ready to be honest. Avoidance can feel like rejection, even if that was not your intention. Clear communication builds trust, while avoidance weakens it. Honesty is very important in these moments. She can often sense whether your answer feels real or rehearsed. People are good at reading emotional energy, especially in close relationships. If your tone, facial expression, and body language do not match your words, she may feel something is off. Authentic answers, even if they are not perfect, usually create more connection than polished but empty words. Another thing she is observing is whether your future vision includes her. When she asks about your plans, dreams, or goals, she may be trying to see if she fits into that picture. If you talk only about yourself and your individual path, she may feel excluded. But if you naturally include her when discussing the future, she may feel valued and chosen. Feeling chosen is very powerful in a relationship. It creates emotional security and strengthens the bond. It is important to understand that the question itself is often less important than the intention behind it. For example, if she asks, "Where is this going?" she may not be looking for a detailed timeline. She may simply want reassurance that the relationship is meaningful to you. If she asks, "Do you see a future with me?" she may be asking, "Am I safe to invest my heart here?" The real message is emotional, not logical. Emotional maturity plays a big role in how you respond. Emotional maturity means understanding your own feelings and being able to express them honestly. It also means respecting the other person's emotions. If you react with irritation or defensiveness, it may show that you are uncomfortable with emotional depth. But if you respond with calmness and empathy, it shows that you can handle serious conversations. Clarity is also important. Clear answers reduce confusion and anxiety. When someone feels confused about where they stand, they may feel stressed or insecure. Clear communication brings peace. Even if your answer is not exactly what she hoped for, honesty and clarity are usually better than mixed signals. Mixed signals can create emotional instability, which damages trust over time. Sometimes these questions come from past experiences. If she has been hurt before, she may be more careful. She may ask questions to protect herself from repeating old pain. Understanding this can help you respond with patience instead of frustration. It is not always about doubting you personally. Sometimes it is about healing and learning from the past. In many relationships, people do not openly say, "I am testing you." But small emotional tests happen naturally. They are part of human connection. Everyone wants to feel secure and valued. Asking deep questions is one way of checking that security. Instead of seeing it as pressure, it can be seen as an opportunity. It is a chance to show who you really are and what you truly feel. When you answer sincerely, you create emotional intimacy. Intimacy is not only physical, it is emotional closeness. It grows when two people share honest thoughts and feelings. Deep questions can strengthen a relationship if they are handled with care. They can open doors to meaningful conversations about goals, fears, dreams, and expectations. It is also important to remember that men and women sometimes communicate differently. Some men may think a question is simple and direct, while a woman may see it as emotional and layered. Understanding this difference can prevent misunderstandings. Listening carefully and responding with empathy can make a big difference. If you feel unsure about your answer, it is okay to admit it respectfully. Saying something like, "I am still figuring out my long-term plans, but I truly care about you," is better than pretending to be certain. Honesty builds trust. Pretending builds distance. Authentic communication does not require perfection. It requires sincerity. In the end, when she asks a deep question in a private moment, it is usually about connection. She wants to know if you are emotionally present. She wants to know if she matters to you. She wants to feel secure about where the relationship stands. The question is a doorway into a deeper level of understanding between you both. Handling these moments with patience, honesty, and emotional awareness can strengthen the bond. Instead of fearing the question, see it as a sign that she cares enough to ask. It shows that the relationship means something to her. When two people can talk openly about their feelings and future, they build a foundation of trust that can last a long time. So the next time she asks something serious in a quiet, intimate moment, remember that it is probably not random. It is emotional. It is thoughtful. And it is an invitation for deeper connection. When a woman brings up a meaningful topic in a private moment, she is usually not just looking for a simple answer. She is looking for certainty. There is a big difference between an answer and certainty. An answer can be short and factual, but certainty is emotional. Certainty makes a person feel safe, secure, and confident about where they stand. In intimate settings, emotions are stronger because both people feel more open and less guarded. Vulnerability increases in quiet, private moments. That is why serious questions often appear during those times. She may ask about commitment, exclusivity, future plans, or emotional depth. These topics are not casual. They show that she is thinking beyond the present moment. When she brings up commitment, it usually means she has already been thinking about it for some time. Most women do not suddenly decide to ask deep questions without reflection. She has likely observed your behavior carefully. She may have noticed how often you call, how consistent you are, how you speak about other women, and whether your actions match your words. She may have paid attention to how you treat her in public and in private. All these observations help her form an opinion about your seriousness. By the time she asks the question, she has probably already formed a partial conclusion. She is not starting to think at that moment. She has been thinking quietly for days or even weeks. She may have compared your actions with her expectations. Every person enters a relationship with certain emotional needs. Some people need frequent communication. Some need verbal reassurance. Others need quality time or physical affection. She has likely measured your behavior against what she needs to feel secure. If your actions match her expectations, she feels hopeful. If there are gaps, she may feel uncertain. The question she asks is often her way of trying to close that gap. She wants to see if what she feels matches what you feel. By this stage, she may have already decided what she wants emotionally. She may know that she wants exclusivity. She may know that she wants a long-term future. She may know that she wants deeper emotional intimacy. When she asks you about these things, it often means she is ready for the next step. She is not asking casually. She is asking because she wants clarity before investing more of her heart. Emotional investment is serious for most people. No one wants to give love and energy into a situation that has no direction. Certainty gives emotional peace. Without certainty, the mind creates doubt. Doubt leads to anxiety. Anxiety leads to overthinking. Overthinking can damage even a healthy relationship. So when she asks something meaningful, she is often trying to protect herself from emotional confusion. She wants to know if she can relax and trust the connection. She wants to know if she is safe to feel deeply. Your response in that moment carries great weight. It can reinforce her decision or challenge it. If she already feels positive about you and your answer is clear and confident, it strengthens her belief. It makes her feel that she chose wisely. It builds trust and deepens her emotional attachment. But if your response feels uncertain, defensive, or emotionally distant, it can create cracks in her confidence. Even if your words are technically correct, your tone and energy can change the meaning. Tone is very powerful. You can say the same sentence in two different tones, and it will feel completely different. A calm and steady tone communicates confidence and honesty. A nervous or irritated tone can communicate doubt or discomfort. When she asks about the future, she is not only listening to your words, she is listening to how you say them. She is observing your facial expressions and body language. Emotional presence matters more than perfect sentences. Confidence in your response shows emotional maturity. Confidence does not mean being arrogant. It means being clear about your feelings and not being afraid to express them. If you say, "Yes, I see a future with you," in a strong and sincere way, she feels secure. But if you say, "I guess so," or "maybe we'll see," she may feel unsure. Even small differences in wording can create big differences in emotional impact. Emotional presence means being fully there in the moment. It means not looking distracted, not checking your phone, and not treating the question as unimportant. When you give her your full attention, it shows respect. It tells her that her feelings matter to you. Emotional presence creates intimacy. It shows that you are comfortable discussing deeper topics without running away from them. Sometimes men think that giving logical answers is enough. But in emotional conversations, logic is not everything. She is not only asking for information, she is asking for reassurance. For example, if she asks, "Are we exclusive?" and you respond with a technical explanation instead of a clear yes or no, she may feel confused. Simple, direct, and emotionally warm answers often work best in these moments. It is also important to understand that by the time she asks, she may have already imagined different outcomes. She may have prepared herself for a positive answer. but she may also fear a negative one. This makes her vulnerable. When someone is vulnerable, they are emotionally exposed. A harsh or careless response can hurt deeply. A kind and thoughtful response can strengthen love. If you are not ready for what she wants, honesty is still important. Certainty does not always mean giving the answer she hopes for. It means being clear and respectful. If you are unsure about commitment, it is better to say that honestly than to give false reassurance. False certainty may create temporary happiness, but it leads to bigger pain later. Clear communication allows both people to make informed decisions. When she seeks certainty, she is often seeking stability. Stability is one of the strongest foundations of a lasting relationship. Without stability, emotions feel unstable too. She may want to know that your feelings will not change suddenly. She may want to know that you are not keeping other options open. Exclusivity questions often come from a desire to feel chosen. Feeling chosen creates emotional safety. In private moments, the atmosphere itself adds intensity. The closeness, the quietness, and the physical intimacy make emotions stronger. That is why these conversations feel serious. They are not meant to create pressure. They are meant to create alignment. Alignment means both people are moving in the same direction emotionally. Sometimes, when a woman seeks certainty, it is because she values the relationship highly. She may not ask these questions to someone she does not care about. The fact that she is asking means she sees potential. She wants to make sure that the connection is real and mutual. It is actually a sign that she is invested. Your calmness during these conversations can be very reassuring. If you appear uncomfortable with serious topics, she may think you are not ready for emotional depth. But if you handle the conversation maturely, it shows that you can build something stable. Emotional maturity is very attractive because it signals reliability. It is also helpful to remember that certainty does not mean controlling the future. No one can predict everything, but you can express your current intentions clearly. You can say what you feel now and what direction you want. That is enough to create reassurance. She does not need a perfect plan for the next 10 years. She needs to know that you are intentional and sincere. When your words, tone, and body language match, trust grows stronger. Consistency between words and actions is powerful. If you say you are serious and your past behavior supports that, her confidence increases. If there is a mismatch, she may question your sincerity. That is why long-term consistency matters so much. In the end, when she seeks certainty, she is seeking emotional safety. She wants to know if she can continue giving her time, love, and energy without fear. She wants to feel secure in her place in your life. She wants to know that the relationship has direction and meaning. Understanding this changes how you see her question. It is not just a question, it is a moment of emotional evaluation. It is an opportunity to build deeper trust. When you respond with clarity, warmth, and confidence, you create a strong emotional foundation. When both people feel certain about each other, the relationship becomes stronger, calmer, and more fulfilling. When a serious question is asked during an intimate and private moment, your reaction becomes extremely important. These moments often stay in a person's memory for a long time because emotions are stronger during intimacy. Emotional memory works differently from normal memory. When feelings are deep, the brain remembers not just the words, but also the tone, the facial expressions, and the energy of the moment. That is why your reaction can shape the outcome of the relationship in a powerful way. In intimate settings, both people are emotionally open. The walls are down. Defenses are lower. This makes everything feel more intense and meaningful. If she asks something about commitment, the future, exclusivity, or your feelings, it is not a small conversation for her. It may represent weeks or months of thinking. She may have built up courage to ask. Because of that, The way you respond can either make her feel safe or make her feel rejected. If you react defensively, she may interpret it as a lack of seriousness. Defensive reactions can include getting irritated, asking why she is bringing it up, accusing her of overthinking, or acting like she is creating pressure. Even if that is not your intention, it can feel dismissive to her. Defensiveness often sends the message that you are uncomfortable with emotional depth. It may make her feel that she cannot openly express her needs without causing conflict. Dismissive reactions can also hurt. For example, laughing at the question, changing the topic quickly, or giving a very casual response to something that is emotionally heavy can create distance. When someone shares vulnerability, they hope it will be received with care. If it feels ignored or minimized, they may feel emotionally exposed and unprotected. Over time, repeated dismissive reactions can weaken attraction because emotional safety is closely connected to attraction. Vague answers create another problem. If you respond with unclear statements like, "We'll see," "Let's not think," "Too much," or "Why label things?" she may feel confused. Confusion often leads to insecurity. Insecurity leads to emotional withdrawal. She may start protecting her heart instead of opening it further. Even if you care deeply, vague communication can send mixed signals. Mixed signals damage trust because they create uncertainty. On the other hand, if you respond calmly, it changes the energy of the moment completely. Calmness shows control and emotional stability. It shows that you are not threatened by serious conversations. Calm energy creates reassurance. When someone feels that you are steady and composed, they feel safer sharing their deeper thoughts. Calmness does not mean being cold. It means being relaxed, grounded, and present. Responding directly is also powerful. Directness removes confusion. If she asks, "Do you see a future with me?" and you answer clearly, it gives her something solid to hold on to. A direct answer shows confidence. It shows that you have thought about the relationship and that you are not afraid to express your position. Direct communication builds clarity, and clarity builds trust. Emotional awareness is equally important. Emotional awareness means understanding what she might be feeling in that moment. It means recognizing that the question is not just about facts, but about emotions. You might say something like, "I understand why you're asking this," or "I know this is important to you." This shows empathy. Empathy strengthens connection because it makes the other person feel understood. Feeling understood is one of the strongest emotional bonds between two people. Clarity about your intentions is another key factor. Even if you are not fully sure about every detail of the future, you can still be clear about your current feelings and direction. For example, you can say, "Right now, I am serious about you, and I want to keep building this," if that is true. Clear intentions reduce anxiety. When someone knows where you stand, they can relax emotionally. Trust grows in these defining moments. Trust is not built only through big actions. It is often built through small but meaningful conversations handled with maturity. When she asks a serious question, she is offering you a chance to strengthen trust. If you handle it well, she feels more secure. Security increases attraction because it creates a safe emotional environment. People are more attracted to those who make them feel safe and valued. Attraction is not only physical. Emotional attraction plays a huge role in long-term relationships. When she feels heard, respected, and understood, emotional attraction deepens. She begins to see you as someone who can handle real-life challenges, not just fun moments. Emotional strength becomes very attractive because it signals reliability and long-term potential. In many cases, when she asks the question, she already leans toward a decision. She may already feel that she wants to move closer. She may already feel invested. But she needs confirmation. Your reaction confirms or challenges what she has been feeling. If your response matches her hopes, she feels validated. If your response creates doubt, she may start pulling away emotionally. Pulling away does not always happen immediately. Sometimes it is slow. She may become less expressive, less open, or less enthusiastic. This is often a protective reaction. When someone senses uncertainty, they reduce emotional investment to avoid future pain. That is why your reaction in one important moment can influence the direction of the relationship for a long time. It is important to remember that strong emotional memories are created during intense moments. The brain attaches more importance to emotionally charged experiences. If she feels deeply hurt during that conversation, she may remember it clearly for years. If she feels deeply reassured, she may also remember that moment as the time she truly trusted you. These moments become turning points. Handling such moments requires emotional maturity. Emotional maturity means being comfortable with serious discussions. It means not running away from vulnerability. It means not seeing emotional needs as weakness. Mature responses show that you are capable of long-term connection. It is also helpful to control your body language. Eye contact, relaxed posture, and attentive listening communicate seriousness. If you look distracted or uncomfortable, it may create doubt. Communication is not only verbal. Non-verbal signals often speak louder than words. If you feel surprised by the question, it is okay to take a short pause to think, but communicate that pause. You might say, "That's important. Let me think for a second." This shows that you respect the question. Silence without explanation can feel like hesitation or avoidance. Small adjustments in communication style can change the emotional outcome. Sometimes fear causes negative reactions. Fear of commitment, fear of losing freedom, or fear of being hurt can make someone defensive. Understanding your own fears helps you respond better. Self-awareness improves relationship quality because it prevents emotional reactions from controlling the moment. When handled correctly, these conversations actually increase closeness. They create deeper understanding. They align expectations. They remove hidden doubts. A relationship grows stronger when both people can talk openly about serious topics without fear. It is also important to see her question as a sign of care. If she did not care, she would not ask. Indifference does not ask for clarity. Investment asks for clarity. So instead of seeing the question as pressure, see it as proof that the relationship matters to her. In the end, your reaction truly shapes the outcome because it shapes how she feels. Feelings influence decisions. If she feels secure, valued, and understood, she will likely move closer emotionally. If she feels dismissed, confused, or unsafe, she may slowly distance herself. The moment becomes defining not because of the question alone, but because of how you handle it. Calmness shows stability. Directness shows confidence. Emotional awareness shows empathy. Clarity shows intention. Together, these qualities create trust and deepen attraction. Every relationship has turning points. Often, they are quiet conversations in private spaces. They may not look dramatic from the outside, but they carry emotional weight. How you respond in those moments can either build a strong foundation or create invisible cracks. So when a serious question comes during intimacy, remember that it is more than words. It is a test of emotional readiness, not in a manipulative way, but in a natural human way. It is about alignment, safety, and shared direction. If you respond with maturity and sincerity, you give the relationship the best chance to grow stronger and more meaningful over time. When she asks a serious question in a private moment, she is often trying to measure emotional safety. Emotional safety is one of the most important parts of any relationship. It means feeling secure enough to express thoughts, fears, hopes, and feelings without being judged, ignored, or rejected. Many people think intimacy is only physical, but real intimacy is emotional exposure. It is the moment when someone shows you their deeper side. When she asks something meaningful during a quiet, close moment, she is emotionally opening herself. She is allowing you to see what truly matters to her. In that moment, she may not say directly, "I need to feel safe with you." Instead, she may ask a question about commitment, about the future, about exclusivity, or about your feelings. But underneath that question is something deeper. She wants to know if her heart is safe with you. She wants to know if she can trust you not only with her body but with her emotions. Emotional safety is about protection, stability, and reassurance. One of the first things she may be measuring is whether you can handle vulnerability. Vulnerability means showing emotions without hiding them. It means admitting fears, desires, and insecurities. When she asks something serious, she is being vulnerable. She may feel nervous. She may worry about your answer. She may even fear rejection. If you respond with patience and understanding, you show that you can handle emotional depth. But if you react with discomfort, jokes, or irritation, she may feel exposed and unprotected. Handling vulnerability does not mean having perfect answers. It means being present and respectful. It means listening carefully instead of interrupting. It means acknowledging her feelings instead of minimizing them. For example, if she asks about the future and you say, "Why are you always overthinking?" she may feel criticized. But if you say, "I understand why you're thinking about this," she feels validated. Validation builds emotional safety because it shows that her feelings are acceptable. Another thing she may be measuring is whether you dismiss serious conversations. Some people avoid deep discussions because they feel uncomfortable. They might change the subject, laugh it off, or give short answers to end the conversation quickly. While this may feel easier in the moment, it can create emotional distance. If she feels that serious topics are not welcome, she may stop bringing them up. But stopping does not mean the feelings disappear. It only means she is protecting herself. Emotional availability is another key factor. Emotional availability means being open to discussing feelings and being willing to connect on a deeper level. An emotionally available person can talk about fears, hopes, and future plans without shutting down. They can express affection and reassurance clearly. An emotionally distant person, on the other hand, may avoid emotional depth. They may give unclear responses or keep conversations surface level. When she asks something serious, she is trying to see which one you are. If she senses emotional distance, she may start feeling alone in the relationship. Loneliness can exist even when two people are physically close. Emotional loneliness happens when one person feels their deeper feelings are not understood or welcomed. Over time, emotional loneliness can weaken even strong attraction. That is why these small conversations matter so much. Steadiness in your response is very powerful. Steadiness means being calm, grounded, and confident. It shows that you are not shaken by emotional discussions. It shows that you can provide stability. Stability is very attractive because it signals reliability. When she feels that your emotions are consistent, she feels safer investing more of herself. If your mood changes quickly or if you react unpredictably, it can create anxiety. Anxiety reduces emotional safety. Reassurance is also important. Reassurance does not mean making promises you cannot keep. It means expressing your genuine feelings clearly. It means letting her know where she stands in your life. Simple words spoken sincerely can create deep comfort. For example, saying, "I care about you and I'm serious about us," can mean more than a long, complicated explanation. Emotional safety often grows from small but clear affirmations. If she senses hesitation, she may begin to question her own position. Hesitation can feel like doubt. Even if you are just thinking carefully, long silence without communication can create uncertainty. Uncertainty makes people protect their hearts. Protection often looks like emotional withdrawal. She may not argue or complain. She may simply reduce how much she shares. She may become quieter about her future plans with you. Avoidance has a similar effect. If she feels that certain topics cannot be discussed, she may decide that the relationship lacks depth. Depth is necessary for long-term connection. Without depth, relationships stay on the surface. Surface connections may feel exciting at first, but they often lack stability. Emotional safety allows relationships to grow beyond excitement into something lasting. It is important to understand that when she starts pulling back, she may not announce it. Emotional withdrawal is often quiet. She may still smile and talk normally, but internally, she may reduce her expectations. She may stop imagining a future. She may stop investing as deeply. This is why early reactions matter. They shape how safe she feels continuing to open her heart. Trust is built through repeated experiences of safety. One conversation will not decide everything, but important moments carry strong emotional weight. The brain remembers how it felt during vulnerable experiences. If she felt safe and understood, that memory strengthens trust. If she felt dismissed or uncertain, that memory creates caution. Emotional safety also depends on consistency over time. If your words are kind but your actions are inconsistent, safety weakens. Consistency between words and actions is one of the strongest signals of reliability. When she sees that you behave in line with what you say, her trust grows naturally. She feels that she can rely on you emotionally. Many men may not realize how deeply emotional safety influences attraction. Physical attraction may start a relationship, but emotional safety sustains it. When she feels safe, she feels relaxed. When she feels relaxed, she can express her true personality. Authentic connection grows in that environment. But when she feels unsafe, she becomes guarded. Guarded energy limits intimacy. Emotional safety also allows honest communication. When she trusts that you will not judge her harshly, she can speak openly about her needs and boundaries. Open communication prevents misunderstandings. It strengthens partnership. Without safety, people hide parts of themselves, which creates distance. Sometimes past experiences influence her need for reassurance. If she has been hurt before, she may be more sensitive to signs of emotional distance. Understanding this can help you respond with compassion instead of frustration. Her question may not be about doubting you personally. It may be about protecting herself from repeating old pain. Handling these moments well requires emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence means recognizing both your own feelings and hers. It means responding thoughtfully instead of reacting automatically. It means choosing calm communication even if the topic feels intense. When you respond with steadiness, you become a source of comfort. Comfort builds attachment. Attachment built on safety is healthy and strong. It is different from attachment built on fear or insecurity. Healthy attachment allows both people to grow individually while staying connected emotionally. If she feels emotionally safe, she is more likely to invest long-term. She will feel confident sharing her dreams and including you in her plans. She will feel secure expressing affection. She will feel stable even during disagreements. Emotional safety creates resilience in relationships. In contrast, if she senses emotional instability, she may begin preparing herself to leave emotionally before physically leaving. This preparation may happen slowly. She may reduce vulnerability. She may stop asking serious questions. Silence in such cases is not peace, it is protection. The key to strengthening emotional safety is presence, empathy, and clarity. Presence means being fully there during conversations. Empathy means understanding her emotional position. Clarity means communicating your feelings and intentions openly. Together, these qualities create a strong foundation. In the end, when she asks a serious question in private, she is not just seeking information. She is checking whether her heart is safe. She is measuring whether you can handle emotional depth without running away. She is trying to understand if you are someone she can trust long term. If she senses steadiness and reassurance, her trust grows. If she senses hesitation or avoidance, she may slowly protect herself. These reactions are often quiet but meaningful. Understanding this helps you approach such moments with care instead of fear. Emotional safety is the invisible structure that holds a relationship together. Without it, connection weakens. With it, love grows stronger. Every vulnerable conversation is an opportunity to build that safety. How you respond in those moments shapes the direction of the relationship more than you may realize. When a woman asks a serious or meaningful question in a private moment, it usually comes after she has already spent a significant amount of time observing you. By this stage, she is not asking casually or randomly. She has been paying attention to your behavior, your choices, your consistency, and the way you handle both small and big situations. She has her own internal standards, values, and expectations for a partner, and these are shaped by her personality, past experiences, and what she truly wants in a long-term relationship. She wants someone who aligns with her emotionally, mentally, and practically. These standards are not superficial. They involve emotional depth, stability, commitment, and shared goals. She is trying to understand whether you meet those standards not by directly asking about every detail, but by observing your actions over time. Your words, behavior, priorities, and lifestyle all communicate who you are and whether you fit into her vision of a partner. When she finally asks a meaningful question, it is often the last step in an internal process she has been running in her mind. She is essentially confirming what she has already noticed and decided upon subconsciously. In her mind, she may be thinking about life goals and whether they align with yours. This does not necessarily mean she wants to know the specifics of your career plans, income, or daily schedule, although those may be factors indirectly. She is trying to understand if your ambitions, values, and direction in life are compatible with hers. If she sees that you are aligned in your core goals, such as family planning, career vision, lifestyle, and emotional priorities, it creates a sense of security and compatibility. But if she senses that your paths are very different, or that your goals are incompatible with hers, it raises concerns. The alignment of life goals is a strong predictor of long-term relationship success, and she is checking whether you pass that implicit test. Commitment is another critical factor she may be evaluating. When she asks about commitment, exclusivity, or long-term intentions, she is not just curious. She is observing whether you have a serious approach to the relationship. She is comparing your behavior to her standard of what a committed partner should be like. Has your consistency matched your words? Do you show effort and investment over time? Are your actions dependable, and do they demonstrate that you see the relationship as more than temporary or casual? She is assessing whether your actions demonstrate that you take her and the relationship seriously, or if your behavior suggests a lack of long-term intention. Commitment is about emotional presence, reliability, and alignment with her expectations of a partner, and she measures these traits carefully before deciding whether you meet her standard. Another important comparison she may be making is whether you see her as a temporary presence in your life or as a permanent part of your future. She is looking for signs that you value her in a lasting way and that your affection, effort, and planning include her as a long-term partner. Small gestures, repeated consideration of her needs, and inclusion in your plans communicate permanence. On the other hand, inconsistency, reluctance to discuss the future, or avoidance of serious topics may signal that you do not see her as part of your long-term vision. She is evaluating subtle cues that indicate how important she is to you and whether your vision includes her consistently over time. This comparison is not always conscious. Often it happens naturally as she observes your behavior, tone, and reactions to different situations. When she finally asks the question, your answer is not creating her decision, it is confirming it. By this stage, she has already made mental notes and assessments about your compatibility with her internal checklist. Your answer serves to either validate or contradict the conclusion she has been forming. For example, if she asks, "Do you see a future with me?" she may already lean toward believing that you do based on your behavior, emotional availability, and alignment with her values. Your words, tone, and confidence either strengthen that belief or create doubt. In many ways, the question is a checkpoint, a moment of confirmation after weeks or months of observation. The subconscious evaluation she has been conducting is now seeking conscious reassurance through your response. Your alignment with her standards also affects emotional safety and trust. When she perceives that you meet her expectations, she feels secure and understood. She trusts that you share similar values and that the relationship can progress in a meaningful way. This feeling of alignment increases attachment, emotional intimacy, and long-term attraction. On the contrary, if your response seems inconsistent with the behaviors she has observed or the qualities she values, she may feel uncertainty or hesitation. Emotional withdrawal may occur quietly as she protects herself from investing more in someone who does not meet her criteria. Emotional safety, compatibility, and attraction are deeply intertwined with whether she feels that you align with her standards. It is also important to understand that she has likely been assessing multiple dimensions of compatibility simultaneously: emotional intelligence, communication style, empathy, conflict resolution, lifestyle choices, values around family and friendships, and long-term vision all play a role in her internal comparison. She is not evaluating a single moment or isolated action. She is building a holistic picture of who you are as a partner. By the time she asks a serious question, that picture is mostly complete. The question is not designed to trap or test you unfairly. It is designed to clarify and confirm her conclusions. Her comparison process is subtle and often unconscious. She may not articulate every expectation or standard explicitly. Instead, she measures them against her lived experience with you. How you handle stress, your ability to empathize, your reliability, your consistency, and your emotional presence all communicate your suitability. Even small actions, such as how you listen to her concerns, how you prioritize shared plans, and how you manage disagreements, become data points in her internal evaluation. Your day-to-day behavior speaks louder than isolated words, which is why consistent alignment over time is critical. When responding to her question, clarity, honesty, and emotional presence are essential. It is not enough to give a vague or rehearsed answer. Your response should demonstrate alignment with her values and standards genuinely. Trying to give answers you think she wants to hear without real intention can backfire. She can usually sense insincerity, and a mismatch between words and behavior weakens trust. A thoughtful, authentic response shows that you respect her standards and are capable of being a partner who meets them. In conclusion, when a woman asks a meaningful question in a private moment, she is often comparing you to her internal standards and expectations. She has already observed your behavior, considered your values and life goals, and formed a subconscious judgment about your compatibility. The question serves as a final confirmation rather than the moment of decision-making. How you respond. With honesty, clarity, and emotional presence, either aligns with her mental checklist and strengthens trust or highlights misalignment and creates hesitation. Understanding that her question is part of a larger internal evaluation allows you to approach the conversation with respect, calmness, and authenticity, ultimately increasing the likelihood of building a strong, secure, and lasting relationship. When a woman asks a serious or meaningful question in a private moment, It often becomes a turning point in the relationship. These moments are not casual conversations. They carry a lot of emotional weight because they occur during intimacy and vulnerability. Turning points in relationships are defined by moments that change how both people feel about each other and how they see the future together. Before she asks, she has probably been observing your behavior, evaluating your consistency, and thinking about her own needs and desires. By the time she finally voices the question, she is usually already leaning toward a decision in her mind. The question itself is not just about getting information. It is about clarifying whether the connection can move forward in a meaningful way. It is like a checkpoint in the relationship where she evaluates whether she feels safe, understood, and valued enough to invest further emotionally. During these private moments, emotional exposure is at its peak. Intimacy is not just physical. It is about sharing feelings, fears, hopes, and vulnerabilities. When she asks about commitment, future plans, exclusivity, or how seriously you view the relationship, she is revealing her inner world and seeking reassurance that she can trust you with it. How you respond in that moment becomes a powerful signal to her. Your words, tone, body language, and overall emotional presence communicate whether you are capable of handling serious conversations and whether you can provide the stability and clarity she needs. Emotional memory is strong during intimacy, so the way you react is likely to be remembered for a long time, shaping her perception of you and the relationship. Clarity in your response is essential. She is looking for clear answers that show you understand what she is asking and that you have considered your feelings and intentions. Vagueness or ambiguity can create doubt and uncertainty. If you respond clearly, stating your feelings, intentions, and perspective, she gains reassurance and confidence in the direction of the relationship. Clarity demonstrates emotional maturity and readiness for a deeper level of commitment, which is very attractive because it shows that you are capable of leading the emotional aspects of a partnership. When she sees that you know what you want and can express it sincerely, she feels safe and more willing to invest further. Confidence is another key factor. Confidence does not mean arrogance or forcing your viewpoint. It means being secure in your feelings and capable of expressing them without hesitation or fear. If you answer with confidence, it shows that you are emotionally grounded and capable of providing stability. Confidence signals reliability and strength, which are both highly valued traits in long-term relationships. When a woman senses confidence, in your response, she is more likely to trust you and feel assured about including you in her future. On the other hand, if your response is hesitant, unsure, or defensive, it can create emotional instability. Even subtle signs of doubt or nervousness can lead her to question your seriousness and reliability. Emotional leadership is another important aspect of a strong response. Emotional leadership does not mean dominating the conversation or controlling her feelings. It means being able to guide the emotional tone of the interaction in a positive, calm, and supportive way. It involves listening carefully, acknowledging her feelings, and responding thoughtfully while demonstrating your own emotional intelligence. By showing emotional leadership, you create an environment where she feels safe to express herself without fear of judgment or conflict. This reinforces the trust and intimacy in the relationship and signals that you are capable of navigating difficult conversations together. Honest intention is crucial. She wants to know that your words are genuine and that your actions align with your promises. Sincerity is often more important than the specific content of what you say. If you respond honestly, even if the answer is not exactly what she hoped for, she will likely appreciate your transparency and respect your authenticity. Dishonesty, evasion, or giving answers just to please her may temporarily reduce tension, but it undermines trust over time. Trust is the foundation of emotional intimacy, and once damaged, it can take a long time to rebuild. honest intention creates a feeling of safety and reinforces her belief that you are a partner she can rely on emotionally. The outcome of the conversation often determines whether the relationship deepens or begins to fade. If she feels secure, understood, and valued after your response, she is more likely to invest emotionally, strengthen the connection, and envision a shared future with you. These conversations can accelerate the bond, making the relationship stronger and more committed. Conversely, if your response introduces doubt, hesitation, or emotional uncertainty, she may begin to detach emotionally even while maintaining normal behavior on the surface. Emotional withdrawal often happens quietly, and the relationship can slowly lose depth and intimacy without obvious signs, making these moments critical to handle with care. It is important to understand that in many cases, she already knows what she wants before asking the question. She has likely been evaluating compatibility, emotional security, and alignment with her values and standards over time. Her question is often a form of confirmation rather than a decision-making point. She is looking to see if you fit into her vision of the future. Your reaction either validates her thinking, reassuring her that the relationship is worth further investment, or challenges it, creating uncertainty that can lead to emotional distancing. How you respond determines whether the relationship advances toward deeper intimacy and commitment or stagnates and potentially weakens. Handling these moments well requires awareness of both your own emotions and hers. Emotional self-awareness allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively, while empathy helps you understand what she is feeling and what she needs to hear. Your ability to remain calm, communicate clearly, and express genuine intentions demonstrates emotional maturity. This maturity reassures her that the relationship has the stability and potential to grow in a meaningful way. Conversely, emotional immaturity, defensiveness, or evasion can undermine the connection and create long-term uncertainty. In summary, certain private conversations act as turning points in a relationship because they involve emotional vulnerability, assessment of compatibility, and evaluation of trust. How you respond in these moments has a significant impact on the trajectory of the relationship. By responding with clarity, confidence, emotional leadership, and honest intention, you provide the reassurance and emotional safety she needs, increasing the likelihood that the relationship will deepen and grow. Conversely, responses that create doubt or uncertainty can trigger emotional distancing, even if outwardly everything seems normal. Recognizing the significance of these moments and handling them with care and authenticity allows you to strengthen the relationship, build lasting trust, and create a shared vision for the future. When a woman asks a serious or meaningful question, in a private, intimate moment, it is rarely just about that single moment or the words themselves. Instead, her question is a window into the path she sees with you and the potential future of the relationship. She is not asking randomly or without thought. By the time she brings up the question, she has likely spent significant time observing your behavior, understanding your values, evaluating your emotional presence, and assessing how your actions match your words. She has been thinking about compatibility, emotional safety, trustworthiness, and whether you fit into her vision of a long-term connection. In her mind, she has already formed an internal assessment of where the relationship stands and what she wants from it. The question is not necessarily a test designed to trap you. It is a way for her to seek confirmation of what she is already feeling and thinking. It reflects her hopes, expectations, and sometimes her fears about whether the relationship can progress in the way she desires. When she asks this question, she is often revealing the result of her internal evaluation. She may be thinking about whether you are emotionally consistent, whether you are capable of commitment, and whether your behavior aligns with the level of seriousness she expects in a partner. She is looking for signs that you are trustworthy and capable of supporting a meaningful, lasting connection. By asking the question, she is signaling that she is ready to consider the next step emotionally, but she needs to confirm that you share the same intentions and values. The private setting matters because intimacy lowers emotional defenses and allows both people to show vulnerability. In that moment, she is emotionally open, and your response will have a stronger impact than it would in casual or public conversation. She is trying to see whether her perception of you is accurate, whether her feelings are validated, and whether she can safely continue investing emotionally in the relationship. It is important to understand that your answer does not create her internal decision. She has already formed a mental picture of who you are as a partner and how compatible you are with her. Your response does not suddenly change all of her observations and experiences. Instead, it either validates her understanding or introduces doubt. Validation occurs when your words, tone, and actions align with what she has observed over time. When she sees that your response matches the trust and compatibility she has sensed, she feels reassured and confident about the future of the relationship. On the other hand, if your response is hesitant, vague, defensive, or emotionally distant, it may create uncertainty even if she has otherwise felt positive about the connection. This uncertainty can slowly erode emotional trust and attachment, because emotional decisions in relationships are heavily influenced by subtle cues and repeated interactions over time. The question serves as a pivotal checkpoint in the relationship. It is a moment when the future trajectory of your connection can shift toward deeper intimacy or subtle detachment. In other words, it is not the first time she is evaluating the relationship, but it may be the first time she voices her evaluation openly. How you respond determines whether she feels safe to continue opening her heart or whether she needs to protect herself. Emotional memory is strong during intimate interactions, so the impressions she forms in this moment are likely to persist. She will remember not only your words, but also your tone, your body language, and the sincerity she senses. A calm, thoughtful, and emotionally aware response can create a lasting impression that strengthens trust and attachment. A vague, defensive, or distracted response can leave lingering doubt that undermines confidence in the relationship over time. Honesty is crucial in these moments. She is looking for transparency, not perfection. Even if your answer is not exactly what she hopes to hear, expressing your genuine feelings and intentions demonstrates respect for her vulnerability. Emotional awareness is equally important. Recognizing the emotional weight of her question, validating her feelings and responding with empathy shows that you are capable of handling serious conversations and nurturing emotional intimacy. Responses that are dismissive, evasive, or indifferent suggest a lack of emotional maturity or commitment, and they can signal to her that you are not a reliable partner. When she senses clarity, confidence, and emotional presence in your answer, it strengthens her trust in the relationship and her belief that you are capable of building a meaningful future together. It reassures her that her emotional investment is safe and that her hopes for the relationship are aligned with reality. This is particularly important because many people make decisions about long-term attachment not only based on words, but on subtle emotional cues, consistency, and alignment with observed behavior. In contrast, hesitation, vagueness, or mixed signals can introduce seeds of doubt that may lead her to question her emotional investment and the overall direction of the relationship. Even if she does not immediately express concern, the uncertainty can influence her behavior and her emotional openness over time, creating a gradual emotional distancing. In short, the private question is more than just a question. It is a window into her heart. It reflects her internal evaluation of the relationship, her hopes, her emotional standards, and her vision for the future. How you respond determines whether she feels safe to continue opening her heart or whether she will hold back to protect herself. Honest, emotionally aware, and clear communication validates her feelings and builds trust, increasing the likelihood that the relationship will deepen and move forward. Hesitant, vague, or defensive responses, on the other hand, can create doubt and uncertainty, potentially altering the trajectory of your connection. Understanding this perspective allows you to approach such conversations thoughtfully, with empathy and clarity, strengthening the foundation for a healthy, lasting relationship. Ultimately, these private questions act as a mirror reflecting the potential future of your connection. They reveal not only her assessment of compatibility and trust, but also her willingness to invest further emotionally. By recognizing the significance of these moments and responding with sincerity, clarity, and emotional intelligence, you provide reassurance that strengthens attachment, builds long-term trust, and nurtures the growth of the relationship. Conversely, failing to provide that reassurance, whether through hesitation, avoidance, or emotional distance, can create subtle barriers that may impede the deepening of the connection. Approaching these moments with thoughtfulness and authenticity ensures that the window she opens in her heart remains open, inviting you both to move forward together with confidence, clarity, and